Overthinking is a unique kind of prison in which there's only one jailer, one warden, and one prisoner. And guess what? You're all three. I know because I've been there many times. I do it constantly. I would plan, I'd want to have some sort of a idea of what I was going to do. I'd want to research it, make sure I'm making the best decision possible. Which, when you think about it on paper, makes a lot of sense. Why would you want to make a decision haphazardly? Why would you want to make a decision that wasn't maybe the best or the greatest one you could make? In theory, it sounds great. There's only one problem. Life doesn't always work the same it does on paper. And I would spend a lot of my time on paper, as you can see. I would plan, research, I'd replan, I'd come up with contingency plans. I'd agonize over sometimes the most ridiculous decisions. Perfect example of this is I was researching a watch a couple of years ago. I wanted a digital watch to kind of track my steps and also some activity levels. And after a couple of weeks of looking at it, I decided on the TicWatch 3. Now, it's not a very well-known watch, but the thing that really caught me was it has two different levels of display, so the battery lasts a lot longer than most. I really thought that was kind of cool because I didn't want to charge it constantly, and I thought 5 days would be pretty good. The thing that was a little troubling, and the thing that really pointed out to me that I had a bit of an issue with it, was even after I purchased the watch, even after I made my decision, I was still researching it. I was still looking up reviews. I was still looking up information as if I hadn't even made the decision, even though I had already purchased it a couple days beforehand. And I would agonize on it. Did I make the right decision? Did I not make the right decision? Maybe I made it wrong. But in reality, I was wasting time. I was tormenting myself for what? For a watch I was going to use for a year, and then maybe it would be outdated or break. But yet I'd agonize over it. And I've done this in other parts of my life too. My diet is probably a really good example. I have yo-yoed on so many different diets, trying to find the best one, the perfect one, the one that works. And I'll give you a perfect example of some of the ones that I've done. I've done Whole30, I've done Paleo, I've done Paleo Zone, I've done blocks, I've dabbled with carnivore for a couple of days. I really didn't like it very much. I did calorie tracking, macros tracking, and basically everything else under the sun. And the funny thing is, there is no perfect. It's whatever really works for you, whatever you can work into your life, whatever you can be consistent with. For me, it happens to be macros. I really like the way it works. I like the variety. I like the ability to do that. But I agonized over this decision for multiple years. And I have both gained and lost weight in the last 10 years, more times than I can count, I'm sorry to say. So, what do you do about it? Well, I came to a realization about 2 days ago about how to attack overthinking, at least in my own way. It might be useful for you. And it came to me mostly because for the last 25 days, I've been doing 75 hard. It's not something I tell a lot of people about. I don't post about it. Mostly because I'm just doing it for myself. I wanted to finally give myself the opportunity, something that I've wanted to do for a while, and have either tried to find excuses for it, given up on it, or overthought it, thinking maybe I can't find the time in the day to do it. Maybe I won't be able to do all of these different tasks that are necessary. And I failed at it a couple times, mostly after day 1 or 2. But this time was a little different. This time I said, no, I'm gonna see it through. I'm gonna give it everything I got. I'm gonna try. And what I found is that all the thinking that I did about it beforehand, all the thinking I've been doing about a lot of things, is just unnecessary. Fact is, action, taking a step, is the ultimate way to fight overthinking. What I found was when I finally said I'm going to do it, I just started the next day. Did I have a perfect diet in mind? Nope. I thought, you know what? I'll try tracking my calories and my macros, and I'm going to try hitting it that way, and I'll adjust as I go. Did I know the book I was going to read? Nope. I found one, just picked it up that day, did it. Did I plan the exercises I was going to do that day? Nope. I figured I was going to go to the gym one day, and maybe I'd walk my second workout. If I couldn't go to the gym, maybe I'd walk twice. Maybe I'd figure it out. What I realized in this whole process, these last 25 days, is that part of overthinking is you don't trust yourself. Half the time I didn't. Being honest, I'd let myself down a lot. I think we all do at times. We don't always live up to the expectations we have in our mind. And maybe sometimes they're too big. Maybe we expect too much of ourselves. But I can tell you one thing from experience. Overthinking is hell. It is a prison that you set up for yourself. The one nice thing is you do have the key. You can trust yourself. Because I think instinctively, we kind of know what we're supposed to do. We know we'll figure it out if we're willing to try. And that's the one thing that I've learned over the last 25 days. If I'm willing to try, if I'm willing to actually give effort, maybe I don't know all the answers. Maybe I don't know exactly where I'm going. I don't know the path. I don't know the end destination perfectly, but I have an idea. I do see the step in front of me, and I know that I can take that step. And I know taking that step may lead to another one. Now, will it or won't it? Don't know. I'm not going to worry about that anymore. I'm going to worry about taking that very next step in front of me and seeing where I go. And I think in a lot of ways, that's a lot more beneficial than trying to plan out every single step that you got. You know, I would buy these planners for 6 months, and I would try to plan out 3 months in advance of every workout I was going to do and ways I was going to. It was so stupid. It never worked. And you know, I know the sad part. Anytime that I would have a hiccup, I'd have a backslide, something wouldn't go my way, I'd crash and burn. And all the work, all the progress, anything that I was working toward or moving forward to would get completely unraveled, and I'd go back, maybe even worse than I was before. And I'd get frustrated at myself. As I think we all do at times. I think at times when things aren't working out, we have a tendency to overcompensate by going, you know what, it's not going to work out. I should just give in. You can't. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to try. You owe it to yourself to just take a step. Stop the overthinking and take action. So one thing that I've learned, you don't need all the answers. In fact, I don't even think you need a quarter of the answers. Most of the people don't even have any answers. They're just willing to try. They're willing to take that step. So trust yourself. Take the step, because I think instinctively, we know we can stand and we know we can walk. So go see if you can. I'm doing it now, and let me tell you something. It's the best thing I ever did for myself. I've never been prouder of myself in these last 25 days than I am now. Because you know what? It is hard. I am not going to say it is not. But let me tell you, the overthinking is almost silent now. Try it out. Try any step that you can to silence that overthinking. Because let me tell you something. When you decide that you want to open the keys to that jail and get the hell out, you can. Give it a go.